So Nike finally released their trailer for Caitlin Clark's sneaker. They finally did.
Finally. After months of watching Nike drop the ball with their biggest star, they've finally done something right. Caitlin Clark just got the commercial she deserves. And let's just say, it's driving the critics wild, the backlash is loud, the comment sections are on fire, and the frustration? It's off the charts. Safe to say, the haters are having a rough day, and Clark is having a moment.
If you haven't heard already, I'm pretty sure you have. Nike has released a new Caitlin Clark commercial, and they made it their business to show love and show out for none other than CC. Now, we know fans has definitely been in odds with the company ever since signing Caitlin Clark. A lot of people feel as if they put Caitlin Clark on the back burner. I don't know, man. I'm a Nike fan. I know a lot of people going to disagree with me on this, but I think Nike was strategic with their Caitlin Clark growth. People could be mad about it or feel whatever way they feel about it. But one thing I can tell you is that I feel as if they were strategic.
That new Cube commercial for Caitlin Clark's PE sneakers? It's like Nike finally remembered why they signed her in the first place. She's the most electric player in the game, the one who brought women's basketball into primetime and packs arenas like she's handing out cash. Now, she finally has an ad that matches her impact. And the critics? They're losing it.
Caitlin Clark and Nike are officially dropping Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever player-exclusive Kobe 5s in just a couple weeks. So this shoe was first seen being worn by Caitlin and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance.
Let's talk about what Nike just dropped, because this isn't just a commercial, it's a statement. When Caitlin Clark sits in that chair, laces up the Kobe 5s, and her eyes shift into that sharp, Mamba-style focus, it's clear, Nike is showing the world who runs this league now. The visuals? Top tier. The cinematography? Cinematic. The energy? Unmistakably elite. This is the kind of high-end treatment that's been reserved for the biggest names, not the bare minimum approach women's basketball has dealt with for years. And finally, they got it right.
We got something for Caitlyn. We got Mamba Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. Where is the Mamba Caitlin? There we go. We get the Mamba logo. We have Caitlin on demon time right now. But yeah, it's good to note that they finally announced it as Caitlyn's as a Caitlyn logo. Or sorry,
and right on cue, here come the usual voices, crawling out to complain. Why is she getting all this attention? What about the other players? This is too much for a second-year pro. It's the same tired chorus we've heard since Caitlin Clark took her first steps onto a WNBA court. But let's be real, they just don't want to admit what's obvious. Caitlin Clark is the face of women's basketball. And now, Nike finally has the guts to market her like it.
Now, people felt the type of way, about Caitlin Clark getting these PE shoes. A lot of people felt as if she should have her own signature shoe, which she should. She very should. But guys, no one has. I don't think there's any player that got a Kobe PE, bro. Like, do y'all know who Kobe was in the basketball world, bro? I'm just saying, like, Kobe didn't allow even his family. I'm pretty sure it's not just going to give his signature shoe to just some anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, other NBA players ain't even.
If you're enjoying this, go ahead and subscribe, because the conversation's just getting started. Meanwhile, the critics are seething. Why? Because Nike finally acknowledged what the numbers have been screaming for over a year. Caitlin Clark is the reason WNBA viewership hit its highest levels in 24 years. The league averaged 657,000 viewers per game, and 19 of the 22 games that broke 1 million viewers featured Caitlin's Indiana Fever. She didn't just move the needle, she snapped it off and launched it into orbit. But let's talk about the real issue that's got people worked up. For months, Nike was dragging its feet on Clark while giving the spotlight to Aya Wilson's signature shoe.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hitting right here, and no, I don't want to pay $600 on.
The whole Aya Wilson versus Caitlin Clark drama got toxic fast, and people tried to turn it into everything but what it really was, business. Nike took heat from former employees like Jordan Rogers, a 15-year vet, who called them out for holding back the biggest star in American sports since Michael Jordan. Slowing down progress? It didn't make sense. The tension hit a new high when Aya Wilson revealed she'd known about her Nike deal for 2 years, yet acted like she was being passed over when Caitlyn's contract was announced. The tweets, the subtweets, the passive-aggressive comments, all while sitting on a signature shoe deal she'd been keeping quiet about. Talk about manufactured drama, but this is what happens when you have a player who's bigger than the sport itself, and some corners of the internet just can't handle.
So it's finally here. Caitlyn Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlyn Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlyn should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her. No.
Nike has finally course-corrected, going all in on their biggest star. That Kobe commercial isn't just an ad, it's Nike recognizing what they really have in Caitlyn Clark. She's not just another WNBA player to brush aside. She's a cultural force, bringing families, kids, men who never watched women's basketball, and casual fans into the game. Caitlyn is expanding the entire sports audience. The commercial links her to Kobe's legacy in a way that feels real, not forced. She's been wearing Kobe's shoes since college, calling them her magic shoes and her babies. When she channels the Mamba mentality in the ad, it's not cosplay, it's a genuine connection. The late great Kobe would have loved this. Caitlyn plays with the same obsessive dedication, killer instinct, and the ability to lift everyone around her.
Your stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlyn Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature.
But here's what's really got the haters worked up. Nike is finally treating Caitlyn Clark like the superstar she's always been. Not a side act or co-headliner. The main event, her signature shoe, is set to drop later this year, and it's expected to smash every record in women's sports marketing. Nike putting Clark front and center is shaking up decades of sports marketing norms. Historically, women's sports get just 0.4% of total sports sponsorships. But by making her the face of major campaigns, including their first Super Bowl ad in almost 30 years, Nike is proving female athletes deserve the same spotlight and premium marketing as the biggest male stars. The $28 million, 8-year deal she signed? It's looking like the bargain of the century. This record-breaking deal sends a clear message: women's basketball is now a commercial powerhouse. It shows brands that investing big in female athletes makes sense, and it could inspire others to rethink how they spend their marketing dollars.
The long-awaited, highly anticipated Caitlyn Clark player exclusive, not her signature shoe. Remember, they're not creative enough to think of that. But that should be coming out in a few months as well. But the player exclusive, they're starting to give it the push. This is the rollout. We got a clothing line coming before the holidays. Let's see how many resources Nike puts behind Caitlyn Clark now that we're going to start getting some of her merchandise coming out, and fans are...
The resale market doesn't lie. Caitlyn Clark's player-exclusive Kobe sneakers are selling for jaw-dropping prices, hitting $8,000 on StockX and averaging $365 for pairs originally priced at $175, nearly double retail. This isn't just typical athlete hype. This is superstar-level, Jordan-level cultural impact. Only 13,000 pairs were made for the initial drop, showing just how much demand there is for anything Caitlin Clark touches. Before Caitlin arrived, the WNBA hadn't seen a seven-figure TV audience in 16 years. Now, it's becoming normal. Her games average 1.09 million viewers, compared to 414,000 for games without her. Attendance tells the same story. When Clark plays, 15,591 fans show up on average. Without her, that number drops to 7,645, a 105% increase. Even on the road, attendance jumps 87% when she's playing. Clark's games make up 33.5% of all WNBA attendance, even though they're only a small portion of total games.
You finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around. Gatorade, State Farm, Gamebridge, Wilson Basketball have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of God, figure something.
The viewership numbers tell a powerful story. The 2024 NCAA Women's Basketball Championship drew 18.9 million viewers, beating the men's final by over 4 million. It was the first time women's basketball outpaced the men's championship on TV. Caitlin Clark's playoff games are breaking records too. ESPN's Game 2 pulled in 2.5 million viewers, making it the most-watched WNBA game ever aired exclusively on cable. Clark isn't just boosting her own numbers, she's lifting the whole league. Games following her matchup see higher ratings. Other players enjoy more merchandise sales. The entire WNBA is riding the wave of the Caitlin Clark effect.
Initially, I thought that these might not perform well, but just wait until I show you the stock numbers on these. Not only that, but apparently her jersey is in high demand too after she publicly defended Angel Reese. I didn't think that this colorway was going to do too well at first, but pre-sale is saying otherwise. These are currently pre-selling for over $300 and the retail is only $190. They drop on June 30th and the total stock on Nike US is just 13,000 pairs. For comparison, the Kobe 5 eggplant had just 30,000 pairs on Nike.
Nike finally woke up and started cashing in on what's been obvious to everyone with eyes. Caitlin Clark moves markets, sparks conversations, fills arenas, and even crashes websites. The real shock isn't that Nike gave her a proper commercial, it's that it took them this long. While the haters keep trying to downplay her impact, Nike is making big bucks off the most marketable athlete in women's sports. Caitlin Clark is that player. She's been that player. And she always will be the one who sells out arenas, shatters viewership records, and sends sneaker sites into a frenzy. Nike's new commercial is just them finally admitting what we all already knew. They hit the jackpot, and now it's time to act like it.
Her highest viewed so far on NBA TV, 624,000 folks. We're talking 3 times the amount. We are talking 2 times the amount on a random channel called NBA TV. What's it going to take for these other games' viewership to start?
What is it about Caitlin Clark? She's got it. She's got swagger. She's got, if you will, balls. She's tough. She's shrewd. She's not a good passer. She's all-time great. And she makes logo threes. And she makes them beautifully. She jump shoots the way Steph does from the logo, where she's not feet on the floor pushing set shots. She goes up, holds it, and flicks the wrist and has incredibly underrated strength. She's just got all-time it factor. She's doing things on a nightly basis where you sit back and say, oh, she's selling them out like crazy. That's Jordan-esque. So in impact, she's already had